Hello everyone. Well, today we're going to do a quick video that is a companion piece to the SCD chocolate video because it has come to my attention that some of you have not got your hands on date syrup and it would be very difficult for you to do so. So we're going to make our own. It takes a little while, but it's not very difficult. So bear with me. I'll explain as we go and let's get started. Well, in order to make date syrup, you will need dates. I am using Metajoule dates because that's what I have on hand right now. Metajoule dates are fresh dates, usually found in the produce aisle. They are softer and more caramely than dried dates. With a sharp knife, cut open your dates and remove the pits. If all you have access to are dried dates, that will still work out fine. You just need to tweak a few steps as we proceed. I'll explain as we go. Then, cut your dates into relatively large chunks. I did this for half a pound of fresh dates. For dried dates, you will want an amount of about 1 pound. We want large chunks because you are going to strain this later on, so very small bits will only make that step more of a pain. But still, if for instance all you were able to find were pre-chopped dried dates, that's still workable. You will just have to make use of something like a nut bag or good cheesecloth at the straining process. Once your dates are cut up, if they are fresh dates, we will give them a quick wash. We don't want to let them sit in water for very long as we don't want them to lose any more sugar than they have to. Dried dates, however, are going to have to soak for about 30 minutes. You will then discard the soaking water. This means that you may lose some sugar, but it won't be that much and shouldn't be a problem with the increased volume that you have. Now we just need to add them to a pot containing 4 cups of water and take that over to the stovetop to boil. Make sure you use a pot that gives your dates some room to boil. This is going to sit and bubble for a long time, and if you are full to the rim with water, it's going to be very easy to boil over. You want it to have a nice steady low boil without having to worry about it, so be sure to use a large enough pot. Also, your pot needs to have a lid that fits it. You want to hold in as much moisture as you can at this stage. These dates are going to boil steadily over a low to medium heat for 2 hours, and it would be tragic if they boiled dry. Keep an eye on it at first and adjust the heat of your stove until you hit the sweet spot, and you can be confident that your dates will simmer well without boiling over. After 2 hours, we can be confident that the date sugar has dissolved well into the water. It should be dark in color and smell sweet. Then we just strain out the dates. With large pieces of dates, I can use a fine mesh strainer and not worry about getting chunks in my syrup. And I can do this while the mix is still hot. But with chopped dates, you should strain it with a nut bag or a couple layers of good cheesecloth, and that is something you will have to do after it's cooled off. I'm going to press my dates with a potato masher to get as much liquid out of them as I can, but I'm not actually mashing them. I don't want bits of date to squeeze through the mesh. And with a nut bag or cheesecloth, you will want to squeeze it well and get as much liquid out as you can. You will have between 2 and 3 cups of liquid here, depending on how much you lost to evaporation. I just need to clean my pot quickly, and then we can put my liquid back in and begin the final process of turning the sugary water into syrup. We do that by boiling the living heck out of it. This time uncovered. We want to cook off around half the water in this on a slightly higher heat that will also caramelize the sugars a little. This is a stage that you will need to watch your liquid. As it thickens, the bubbles will become more prevalent and stronger with the sugar. This means that it will start to bubble up higher and higher, and it could boil over. If they get close to the top, just lift the pot up off the heat for a bit, and it should all calm down again. It's going to get thicker and darker, but remember that it will still be pretty runny because it is hot. If you are waiting for it to look like the syrup does when it comes out of the bottle, you will probably burn it because it will not thicken up until it's cooled. You are essentially waiting until you have cooked off about half the liquid, and the bubbles, they look like this. Now that it's done, we just need to cool it off a little, and then we can put it in a container and use it in our chocolate recipe. I know this recipe doesn't make a lot of syrup. That is always kind of one of the disappointments with making any kind of syrup. You cook off so much liquid that the end amount seems paltry. Still, you should end up with a cup to a cup and a half of syrup, and that is enough to get you 5 or 6 batches of the SCD chocolate recipe. I'm just going to add this to the syrup that I already made. It is sweet and sticky and one of the best sugars you can have. It goes great on top of all kinds of treats, and it's a nice change from all that honey that you've been eating on the SCD. Well, that's it. I hope that was helpful. As I said, it's not a difficult recipe, it just takes a while because of all the simmering. I am here if anyone needs help or has any questions. I'm very happy with the response my SCD chocolate recipe got, and I will probably have another companion piece for it, as there have been a few questions about some of the ingredients. Well, that's all I have. Best to you. Good luck.